What's up, YouTube? We're live. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. I was trying to get some food, and it's just been kind of a busy day, closer to the time that I was going to do this, so I'm rushing a little bit. Yeah, had to throw a shirt on here for y'all. But yeah, hope everybody's doing good, and I hope that you don't mind me. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna close this curtain a little bit. And then, like, we're good. We're good. Today, Wednesday, wins is what we do here on Wednesdays during this live stream because I'm doing a 90-day habit challenge, inviting you all along on the journey with me. And we're doing it month by month, taking it 1 month at a time, 30 days or 31 days, depending on the month, how many days is in it. But yeah, so I hope y'all doing good. I'm going to wait a second, see if anybody's going to jump in here and get myself situated. I was working on a PowerPoint for you as well, which is one of the reasons why I was like rushing it in, because I was trying to finish that as well as get me some food and get the family settled in. I am babysitting right now, so doing some of the adulting things. But let me make sure my screens are good to go. This computer's moving a little slow, so let's see, recent. And I'm gonna pull up this PowerPoint. Close the door. All right. Let's see. Once I get this PowerPoint up, I will show you what I'm looking at here, what I was working on. Every week, I will improve on the PowerPoint and what I'm sharing with you all. Every month, we're going to have kind of like a theme or topic for it to take you through the process on a journey to establishing these habits, but not just creating new habits because we want to lose weight or feel more confident or whatever it is, change our life in general, but we're not quite sure what that even looks like. It's actually going to create sustainable change in your life, sustainable habits. This is a lifestyle change. A lot of times people talk about like diet, and I'm always like, diet is what we're eating at the time, to classify what we're eating, but we're not just going on a diet for a temporary period of time and then we go back to what we were doing. It's a lifestyle change if you want it to be lasting. That's why a lot of people lose weight and then gain it back even more. I mean, there's a lot going on inside, but usually it's because you're just reverting back to old habits and you're not sustaining that change. And that's because you may be built on a sand, on a rocky foundation, like it's not stable and you don't really even know what it's built on. Again, if we're just doing it just for confidence, for outside validation, to look a story for others, to keep up with the Joneses, those goals are not going to last. You're going to be like, oh, well, I'm good. Like, again, I talked about this last week about being comfortable. Okay, we have to get uncomfortable for change if we really want change. And that's why I talk about how you got to hit like rock bottom. Also, having a mystical or spiritual experience could create change. But until you get real uncomfortable, like life hits you hard and you're ready for change because you're feeling like angry inside, you're feeling so frustrated, until you get like so much energy inside built up to where it has to be unleashed and you're ready for it and you're like, something has to change. You're fed up, you're tired, sick and tired of just life, sick and tired of being sick and tired. Until you're to that point, you're comfortable. So you want change, but I'm cool doing what I'm doing. Like, it gets me by. And I talked about substances last week as well. I've been seeing it pop up too, about how certain people are quitting smoking the Mary J. And I've talked to some people I know personally recently talking about that. And they feeling like maybe it might be time for that or whatever it is. And again, I would say moderation. I also, me personally, I believe in the medicinal uses of things. And there was a reason, especially if it's natural, plant-based things like that. I believe that they have medicinal uses and purposes, but when we start to overconsume, it's toxic, creates toxicity. Like like certain medications and things, you're not going to overuse it. You have dosages, because if you take too much, it's toxic to your body. And if you take it for too long, your body becomes resistant. I'm not resistant, but like numb to it. I can't think of the word right now, but it adapts to it. So you need a higher dose. That's tolerance. When your tolerance level goes up, you need more, and it costs more. It costs more, not just monetarily either. Okay. And then you become reliant on it, that position, because now you're relying on others. You're relying on someone producing that, because I know you're not doing it yourself. You're relying on the supply being there, and also having the monetary resource, or whatever resource it is that's getting you that. And so it just puts you in a certain bind or situation. And also it makes your body reliant on that thing. So now your body's not operating to its optimum level, to its capacity that it can operate as in a healthy realm of things. Now, again, your body's relying on other things, so it doesn't need to produce what it naturally produces, because you're getting that from somewhere else. And so, there's effects and layers to it. Like I said, I'm not against certain things, but what it does to you, especially after long-term use, and especially if you have certain goals and you want your life to look different, you're going to have to change things. It's going to be uncomfortable. And I'm saying all that because I was looking at certain comments with people that are being sober and changing lifestyles and stuff, specifically around smoking right now, is what I see popping up. And one, it's used for certain things. You could say, like I said, medicinally, anxiety, appetite, insomnia, the list goes on that we can use it for different things. But when you start becoming reliant on it, I've been around it for a long period of time. Started in college, so it went from there. And that was over 20 years ago at this point. And so it starts out. And so I'm saying that because I've had conversations with my friends at the time, like, just other people being in that environment. Again, it's a lifestyle because you want others to do it with you. And so you meet others and somehow you just connect because you're in those environments where it's at. And so then you're like, oh, cool. Yeah, let's match. Let's do this. Let's do that, whatever. So you get together, and now sessions, style that goes along with it, which is watching TV and sitting around. And it's like binging things. It's like continuously consuming. And you only really hang out when you use those substances and things. So again, I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying that this is the reality of things. And if you want change, then you have to change that. And so now, what does that look like? Because if all your friends were doing that and you're the one that's not, whenever you become the sober person in the group, it's a little awkward. It's a little different. I stopped drinking. Like sometimes I'll just take time off from drinking. I don't drink like that anyway. But sometimes I may go out or whatever and whatnot, freshly single, going out, all this stuff, whatever. And so we'll go out, we drink pregame, all this other stuff. Anyway, at my age, like it just doesn't settle with my body. It's not good for my body in general. So, only on special occasions would I partake in that. But I also just don't have the desire now. I don't feel good afterwards. It's like, okay, sure. In the moment, once you start doing it, then it's like, oh, I feel, liquid courage and all that. But it just doesn't settle right with me right now. Okay, I'm gonna say this computer's been glitching out a little bit. So hopefully we're doing this good. In chat, let me know when y'all hop in here and when you watch this. I want to know. Leave me a comment if you're watching this later at a later date. Do you like these live streams like this, horizontal, long form, or would you like it vertical on the phone? Because I did that last week because I didn't have a computer to do my live stream on, and no excuses, we're doing the lives. So I did it on my phone, and so it was vertical, and I had a lot more people watch the video because I don't know if it's what they're consuming it on. Like instead of consuming it on a computer, they're consuming it on a phone, and so it just looks better that way. Whatever it is, I would like to know what you would prefer for these live streams, vertical like on a phone, or horizontal like if you're watching on a TV or a computer. So let me know. And I'm looking like camera screen, so excuse me when I'm looking up and down. But anyway, I'm going to pull up this PowerPoint, but I'm going to continue what I was saying if I can remember exactly what I was saying. Actually, let's go here. And I want to go full screen. So how do I do that? Oh, how do I go back? Okay. This is the Windows computer. So let me see. How do I go full screen? Presentation display. Full screen. It's supposed to be. Start. It's not. Okay. I don't know. Window. Okay. Well, we'll try this and see. Let me actually go back before I show you what I'm looking at. But anyway, again, I say all that, one, not to judge or anything. I just believe that when it's time for change, you know it, you feel it. I call it the call or a pull. You feel a pull, things are changing, you feel stuck and frustrated. That's a signal for change. It is time for change, which means your life has to change, and your lifestyle is the way that you live out your life. It doesn't mean clothes. Oh, that's a part of your character that you present yourself as, these roles that you play. So your role is to go work at a certain job. You work. Your lifestyle is your whole life and how you live it. And yeah, what you do, your habits, your actions, all these things. And so I'm saying that because to be sustainable, to become this new version of yourself, because you want to be there and you're here right now and we see the separation. So how do we get there? We've tried everything. Okay. Is that person, that version of you has a different lifestyle. It's not just that they do different things. It's that they had to change their lifestyle. They had to not only change their habits, but their beliefs. They are a different person internally as well as externally. They show up differently. They may have to be around different people. They have to get a different job or live in a different location. They have to change the way they say things. They had to check themselves more. They had to build more emotional intelligence. That takes work. Growth is painful. It takes work. Growth is stretching yourself. It's getting out of that box, because you feel tight in a box right now. You feel like you don't fit. Things don't fit. Again, this is a signal. And so in order to get out of that box, you're going to have to stretch yourself. It's going to be uncomfortable because you're not quite sure. Once those walls break down and you feel the vastness, it's going to be a bit overwhelming. And it's going to be probably dark, usually, for a bit, and lonely, and cold. So you get scared and afraid. Okay? You're scary. And so during that time, though, you have to remind yourself of why you're doing what you're doing. I talked about this last week. Your why you're doing what you're doing. Okay? What you value. And these create your identity. Okay? And also what you believe. And what you believe is what you start to say out loud, which is, again, why we have to change who we're around, because we pick up what they say. That's why they say you're like the 5 people that you're around. I don't know why they choose 5. Okay, but that's just what's the saying, I guess. I don't know. I haven't really looked too deep into that, but you're like the 5 people you're around the most, which is also the ones that you consume the most. Especially if you're isolated, you're still like, you're picking up what the comments are. You're subconsciously picking up these videos and things that's on your algorithm. You're going to start to talk like that. Okay, so we're picking up these habits and these words that others say around us. And also what we say affects them too. So we can't expect change in others if we're not doing it ourselves. And so that's when we have to start changing our habit. And it's going to be weird and uncomfortable. You know what it looks like. And this is what I was coming to from the first conversation, is people that have smoked most of their life or drank or whatever it is, took substances, did certain acts and things that they may not really like, but they still do it because that's all they know, is that they have to expand their understanding of things so that they can know more, but also be okay with themselves, be okay with not knowing what's next, because that's the uncomfortable part. Sometimes it's not just about doing the hard thing of lifting weights or something. It's just about the uncomfortable, the discomfort of not smoking and sitting on your couch because that's comfortable. It makes you okay with your situation. That's why we use these things. This is the point I was getting to. Is it's not the actual tool, it's not the medicine, it's not the thing. And someone said this the other day too. It's like once you get your medicine from that thing or that person or that place, then it's time to move on. You don't continue to consume that medicine. At a certain point, you become resistant to it. It no longer has its effect. And it doesn't help you. And sometimes then it turns toxic. We need to let those things go. Doesn't mean it has to go forever, but for at least a period, it has to go away. You have to regulate yourself, come back to homeostasis. So if you're like this, stress, substances, your body is relying on these things. When you don't have it, you withdrawals, or just, you may not call it withdrawals because you don't want to call it that, but you're just used to the habit of an oral fixation or whatever it is, just the habit of rolling, the habit of doing these things. This is you. It's your rhythm. It's your routine. This is your ritual. You do it routinely. And you're like this constantly. This is why nervous system regulation is important, because you get into rhythm. And once we're into rhythm, I've talked about this. So this is your baseline. Your body can now regulate itself. It can now heal itself. It can now start to produce the things that it should be able to produce. Now, certain people, if you've been a certain way for so long, and depending on your labs and all this other stuff, like you may need other help from, if you're deficient in certain areas, or if you're insulin resistant, like your process is going to take a little bit longer, okay, than just eating whole foods and coming back to regulated state and sleeping more. Like you're going to have to do a bit more in that area, but it's okay because you want this change, right? Like you should be willing to do that. But once we come back to this state of regulation and in this rhythm, now we can gain more clarity to move forward, and we're building our new life on a steady foundation. But that's going to take work, especially if you've been doing certain habits for most of your life. Okay. But you're like, well, what does life look like if I'm not smoking? What does life look like if I'm not drinking? What does life look like if I'm not with those friends? What does life look like if I'm not in this city? And that starts to bring up emotions of fear, of scarcity, because what if it doesn't work out? Now we're going into these what if loops and the negative sense of things, not of if it does work out or when it works out. What does that look like? To fall down the rabbit hole of what it will happen when it doesn't work out, or if it doesn't, because that's the probability of that is higher. So I'm focused on that because I want to prepare myself before the thing happens. And this is something that I had to learn, was when you come from a place of disappointment or like feeling like you can't trust anybody and all these things, and next shoe's going to drop and all this, what's going to happen next? So when things do start to happen that are good, this is self-fulfilling prophecy. This is when you block your blessing, when you self-sabotage, and you may not know it because this is a belief, subconscious belief, is that something's going to happen next. And you're just waiting on that. And if you're waiting on that, you're holding that energy. You're not in a regulated state because you feel like something's going to happen next. So I got to stay on guard. That's being more in your masculine energy. Okay. And to receive and to feel the abundance, you have to be in your feminine energy. Now there's a balance. We'll go there another day. But I'm just saying all that to say that this is a journey and it's a process, and to give yourself that time if you really want a change in your lifestyle. So I'm going to share the screen with you. I'm going to get right into this, and I'm going to take a bite of food after I take a sip of my water. And I'm going to show you something as well. All right, so here we go. Bam. All right, cool. We can do this. All right. I've been doing good with my water. I've been hitting my water intake. I wonder, can I move my screen? No, I don't think I can, to like a different part of this so you can see it. Probably not. All right, I'm going to take a bite of this food. Excuse me for a minute, y'all. It's spicy, but it's all good. Call half is not. I'm going to be transparent about that. Coming here, like, this is my thing about traveling. I love travel. I love to do it. Lived in an RV van, built out the van, traveled to different cities, that type of thing. But sometimes it can be a lot, and I just want to be like steady somewhere prepared. I'm doing right now. I would prefer to just be in one location on that, because just moving back and forth, and so I need things. Some people may call it like neurodivergent or whatever, not diagnosed, but I can see some signs, or OCD. I don't know, whatever. All these labels. Either way, I like things, a certain way because it helps me mentally. And when those things are not in order, or I'm not saying I need things perfect or whatever, but I'm just saying that there's certain things that when they're not, it clouds my mental. And literally, I'm pretty sure scientifically proven that this happens for most, if not everybody, whether we know it or not. When our physical environment is cluttered and chaotic, it affects our mental. So that's why I would always say, start with just cleaning for your movement. Start with decluttering, because once you do that, one, you build momentum. 2, you're moving your body, so we're working our body out. And 3, that helps with your mental, because you're clearing that physical clutter. It helps with the mental clutter, because that's taking up space. Again, subconsciously, you may not be aware of it, but it does take up mental space. And your brain actually uses like 25% of your energy. So if you didn't know, even just sitting around and thinking, you're using energy, especially if you're thinking a lot. You wonder why you're exhausted. You didn't do anything physical. So you need to still consume calories. Some people may argue, of course, you don't need to eat meat, this and that. That's a different discussion. But we still need calories, especially if our performance is high. We're working a lot. We're doing a lot. You're taking care of kids. All these other things. You got a lot of responsibilities. You still need to eat, because your brain needs that to operate at its maximum capacity. Okay. So it's something simple as that. That helps too. But anyway, because like I said, I'm not eating my full nutrition protocol with this meal. I have been doing good up until the last few days of coming here. Now I'm like readjusting myself, had to get some groceries, things like that. But I had this created, and this actually looks really good. I'm happy about it. This is the monthly habit tracker that I have on my website, and link is in the description box. It says the 90-day habit challenge. We take it month by month, so you're only doing 1 month at a time. So this habit tracker shows you 1 month of tracking. So even if you just want to do this for 1 month, establish a new habit, that's fine. You don't need to do 90 days. This will help you with establishing that new habit. It works on identity-based statements. We're going to get into that today, why that's important. But this is the habit tracker that you can download for free on my website, bornvital.com/habit challenge. Again, it's in the description box. You can check that out. But I got it made. Okay, this will last me like multiple years because there's like a bunch of sheets on here. But I made it because if I see you in person and you want it, I'll rip off some, however many you want a whole year. I'll give you 12 of them. Whatever it is. You just want a couple of them, 3 for this 90-day challenge, I'll give you that. So yeah, if you see me, ask me about this. I'll try and keep them with me at all times. If you order my product that I'll be introducing here soon, hopefully if all goes well, I'll include these, or let's see, I'm going to just say one of these for now. We're going to see how this goes and how many people order. But yeah, so this is my habit challenge. This is my 90-day habit overall up top. But I focus mainly on the 1 month. So it says my one focus, me drinking my water and also eating whole foods. What I'm eating right now is half meat, half greens, and the meat is not a whole food because there's like a breading. So that's why I say it's not in my nutrition protocol, because it has a breading on it. It's leftovers. This is just what I have. why this matters. This is to remind me of why it matters, because this is going to clean my butt. My butt? Well, true. It make me regular. It's gonna cleanse my gut and clears my skin. Clean my butt out, I guess. If I don't change this, I will feel sluggish, not confident, and stuck because I'll feel like it's not working. And I won't be confident in myself sticking to it if I don't do this. Okay. And then this says, I am someone who, and then I put in, is an energetic being prioritizing cellular vitality, because I'm getting deep into the cellular detoxification and cleansing. Again, this is for like high level coaching and eventual future stuff that I'll talk about on here, but I'm just sharing it with you all who are watching this video. So you're getting in early on these videos, just to let you know, if you didn't know. And then I've been crossing it off. So each day I'll cross off with an X if I did it, and I do a squiggly line if I did like half of the day. So if I drink my water but kind of ate my food, I do squiggly line. Didn't eat my food, no, it doesn't count. Now if I drink my water and eat my food, I cross it off. The thing is, we always want to, if we miss a day, we don't want to miss 2 days in a row. Okay. I did kind of the last 2 days, and today I would say kind of as well. So not really hitting the mark right here. Before that, I was hitting the mark, missed a day, hit the mark, missed a day, hit the mark. And now I'm kind of here. But it's fine because it's not about perfection. It's a tracker, which is measuring my progress, which is measuring my lifestyle and what I'm doing. I also have been writing in my journal, not every day, but when I need to write in there, I will. And in my planner, sometimes I'll write little snippets of things for the day to kind of keep track as well. So then I can match it up with this and see what was going on during those times at the end of this month and make the adjustments. So like at the bottom of this, it says what worked. So I'll put in what worked, filling up my water the night before and having it by the bed, putting my phone further away from me. So when I get up, I drink my water and have to get up out of bed to get my phone, and then I drink some more water, whatever it is. Or setting an alarm to chug my water by a certain time of the day to make sure I get that in. What didn't work was when I traveled, not having fresh foods on me, or not having a fork, or not having whatever the thing is. So I'll just assess what didn't work. And this is measuring. It's not to condemn ourselves for not hitting the mark and all these other things. This first month is just tracking the progress to see where the hurdles are, to see where we need to improve so we can make the adjustments. That's all it is measuring. We're measuring and looking at it and seeing, what is the thing that's holding me back? Is this really something I want to do? We're going to ask all those questions with this. But either way, I have this. If you want one, let me know. I can send you a physical copy of that, or you can just use the free one and print it off yourself, or use it on your phone, your tablet, whatever you have to use that for. But yeah, so that's really cool. I have that. I also have some other things I want to share, but I'm not going to show you right now. We're going to wait on that for at least another week before I solidify a few things. But I showed you all this on my Sunday video, if you were there. This right here. I have it around my neck in my push-up videos. You'll see it. People have asked me what it is. This is a nasal inhaler. So I hold one side and I smell the scent when I do that. I do this before I meditate. I do this when I feel anxiety come up, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I need to reset and settle back into my body. This is what I use. Right now I have Palo Santo in there, but I have some tea tree and eucalyptus right here as well. I do like a good tea tree. I used to, before I got that, I would just rub some in my hands, cup it in my hands and smell it. Like I said, before my meditation, and when I want to calm myself down, it just kind of triggers me and says, hey, this is the time to realign, come back to center, remember what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then we can move forward from there. But for that really does help me out a lot. Which is why I'm sharing it, because it helps. And if you haven't done something like that before, then I would suggest to do that. I also have a version. I will show you all this because, again, I shared this on the last video too. Comment Scent, SCENT, in the comment box if you would like one. I only have 10 of these, so only 10 people will get one. But I have my logo on there. So if you want a blue one, this is a nasal inhaler. It does not have where you can attach it to a chain on this one, but it does the same thing. You can smell it. It comes with a cotton wick inside and one extra, so you can do different scents and kind of see which one works for you. But if you would like one, leave a comment, let me know. I'll get you one of these. I only have it for 10 people, so if you want one, let me know, and I'll get you one. All right, and I'll also throw in the habit trackers. Let me know how many of these you want, and I'll get you some of those as well. Cool. Good stuff. I'm going to take another bite of my food, and then we'll get into the PowerPoint, which is going to establishing that steady foundation for a new lifestyle. And I'm going to go ahead and hop on TikTok live as well while I go over this, because this is some really good information. Like I said, we're not just setting goals here. That's not even what we're talking about necessarily. The habit tracker, of course, we pick one. This is going to help you get clear on that one habit, that one goal, and what the habit is that you need to establish to accomplish that goal. That's what this is going to do for you today. Listen to this text. This is spicy, y'all. All right. One more minute. Appreciate y'all being patient with me. But it's getting late, so I don't want to eat much later than this. All right. And pull up TikTok live. Oh my. Drop the whole phone. All right. Anybody out there? I do appreciate y'all who do watch my videos, especially these lives when I'm just. I promise there is really good value in this, and like I said, it's only going to get better if you're just starting out. It was like at the beginning with me on here. Excuse me, just pick. All right. Go live on here. What if I could set it up here? What's that TikTok? Wait. I was on my phone to fall. But I may be able to. Maybe not. Yeah, it's not going to stay. I tried. Just so. And I don't know, these people, you're just hopping in. You're not going to talk about anything. Okay, they're trying to jump into this live. But I'm not going to let some random person just jump in that's not going to talk about setting habits with me. Okay, let's go into this PowerPoint on how we can establish sustainable habits. This is a lifestyle change, because otherwise it's not going to be sustainable. We set goals, we don't follow through, and then we beat ourselves up. We don't feel good about it. Adjust this back here. So yeah, trust me. Like, I love personal development and all of that, and I would set goals, and when it wouldn't happen in the time I wanted it to happen in, I would just be so frustrated. I also had to work through a lot of anger and frustration in myself, liver as well as emotional things. So that was a whole process in itself. But what I'm talking about today is the basics of establishing new habits that are going to last for your whole life. Like, we've done stuff a certain way for so long, and we want to change that. But what does it even look like? Like, yeah, I know I need to work out to lose weight, but how do I go from sitting on the couch or anxiety, social anxiety? I don't even want to go to the gym, myself up, not getting good sleep. How do I go from that to losing the weight and being this person that I envision and feeling good about myself, and, having people I can trust around me and all these things? Like, that seems like such a big gap. And then we think about it and we get overwhelmed, because it's like, well, I'm here. These things stacked against me. I've tried and nothing's worked so far. How do I get there? Everybody says all this stuff, and I've tried visualization, I've tried manifestation, I've tried these things, and they're not working. Maybe it just doesn't work for me, which is not true. It's just that we are starting from the end, and we need to start from the beginning. But we've been taught to start from the end. We've been taught to desire accomplishments, these physical, material things, and to look a certain way. Again, the American dream that we were told to have. We were told to do things in a certain way by this certain age, and now we're comparing ourselves even more with the internet. Keeping up with the Joneses was like a huge thing back in the day, but now it's like keeping up with the next person that you see every 30 seconds that you scroll. And at the end of the day, that's not going to bring you fulfillment. Money can make you happy, yes, of course. It's a tool. It can buy things, it can get you experiences, but at the end of the day, are you fulfilled, truly fulfilled? And I'm talking about like on a soul level. I'm not talking about surface. So when I talk about this stuff, the reason why I'm going so deep and not just talking about setting goals and the basics of that is because this goes deeper. And I say it on my YouTube channel. It's happening. But I say be the change, and it's not in a cliche way, although it sounds cliche. But when you be authentically yourself and you shine, you show others that it's possible, and that creates a ripple effect. And we can either be influenced by others or we can influence others. Okay. And I don't call myself an influencer. I call myself an impactor. Okay. Impacting others around me. Okay. What you give off, that energy, you literally give off energy to people around you. And it can go further away if you're intentional with that. But us setting these basic materialistic goals because we just want to not be where we're at right now. We just don't want to feel these feelings we're feeling right now. So we're like, well, if I don't want to be anxious, if I don't want to be depressed, then I want to be this confident, strong, wealthy person. And that's all we know. And that's real surface level. And that's a place to start. Yeah. We know we want to get there and we don't want to be here. We know that something else can be. We know that I want to be here. But like I said before, you have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to get uncomfortable. And life will do it to you, or you can do it to yourself. You can get up and start to be uncomfortable. Do things that make you uncomfortable. Get up every day and choose the hard thing, whatever that is for you. Sometimes the hard thing is talking to a stranger because you need exposure therapy. Sometimes the hard thing is eating the food that you don't want to eat because you want the food that tastes good. But the only reason why you want that is because we're addicted. We're addicted. Sugar is a drug, and sugar is in almost everything. Look at the labels of all your food, your drinks and your food. Look at that. And I was talking about this and alcohol and smoking, Mary Jane and stuff like that. and how I'm seeing it come up a lot, like people who feel like they need to quit smoking and all this. And one of the reasons, like, not only the fact that, like, what alcohol does to the body, and I drank a lot in college and all this stuff, so my liver got messed up and whatnot, and I've worked on that for years now. But I'm saying that because not only the physical effects and the mental, because it's a depressant, alcohol is a depressant, but also the calories. I started looking at the calories in your drinks. The drinks that you're making has so much sugar in it, so much sugar. And then we wonder, we're like, well, I've been eating a salad. Yeah, but you also drank 3 to 5 drinks that are like 500 calories per drink. You're consuming through liquid your calories, and it's sugar. It's sugar, glucose. Okay, it's so much. This is why I talk about a lifestyle change. Okay, I'm giving you kind of like a baseline right now before I get into this TikTok. If you want, you can go to my YouTube, Alchamentor. My username that's on here, LAB Lab, Alchamentor Lab. And you'll see the PowerPoint presentation that I have up right now. And so this is kind of a baseline. I'm preparing you for what I'm about to talk about, because it's not just about setting goals. Anybody can set goals. Like I said, I've been in personal development for about 20 years now. Self-help, personal development, improvement, working hard, efficiency, productivity, optimization of systems. I'm good at it. But you can't cut corners when you're going deep. And if you really want change, again, on a soul level, impact, which is what, not surface level anymore. We work for companies. No, it's not secure, even if you think a career is secure. Okay. Freedom is within. And that's the confidence. This thing, I talk about the self-discovery journey. That's the initial part in my book, The Way of the Seeker, on my website, bornvital.com. Okay. Self-discovery. That's the journey to answer the call because you feel like something needs to change right now. You're asking the questions. You're feeling lost because you're overwhelmed by everything going on in the world. You were supposed to fit in this box. You don't fit in the box. Nothing's working for you. You're feeling stuck. You don't know what to do next. What's the point if there is no future? Okay. All these things. And I'm an optimist, so I get it. But also, I believe in more. I believe in the change, which is why it is possible. All right. And so we start off on a self-discovery journey, self-discovering who we are, because we've been told to be a certain person for so long. We found out everything's a lie. Everything's a lie. It's all a lie. I say we're a social experiment, especially if you're in North America. But I mean, it goes deep. I'm not going to go down all the rabbit holes today. We can go there, okay, on another live. But right now I'm just talking about habits, okay, because this affects so many levels, okay. And we're not going to, again, go down these rabbit holes because we need to establish what we believe and who we are. And then we will understand what will bring us fulfillment. And then we can go towards those things. But for so long, we've been doing it the wrong way. And this is why I say I've been in this space, personal development space, for so long. So I'm telling you what not to do. I'm telling you right now, this is what you got to do. We start from strategy. We start from goals. We know what we want. I want to be this person that has all this stuff and doing these things and going on trips and blah, 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 and I see everybody else doing it. I should be able to do it. We start going down, victim mentality and all this other stuff. Again, you need to work on that self-discovery, inner journey, ego deaths, all those things. Okay, that's a journey. But once we can get past that surface, what is it that will bring me fulfillment? What is it that I can truly go after? I want to start an online business, but I don't want to do drop shipping. I don't want to do that. Like I started online businesses. So I wrote books. Like I said, this book is I'm actually passionate about, and this will help you. Okay. This is real right here. It's not just something to sell you that has good information, not just information. Okay. But how do we go from where we're at now that we don't even know what to do next to this confident person, to this person who has self-mastery, who went on the self-discovery journey, who builds self-worth and self-love and self-confidence and trust in themselves? How do we become that person? Because again, it's not about the things that person has. Those things will come. You will start to have abundance flow to you because you were magnetic at that point. I always say that our aura what we give off. That's a magnetic thing, and you can attract things that you may not want. Okay. But we can also, when we stand in who we are in our true power and be, like I said, impact others around us. So in order to and feel true fulfillment in our purpose in life or our mission in life, I like to say a mission because it makes me want to get up and do something because I want to fight back. Okay, rebel at heart. All right, warrior spirit, if you will. And so I have a mission. In my about section on YouTube, in the description box, you can read it there what my mission is. Right, and so I'm on a mission. So I get up, and that gives me drive. But if you don't have that, then how do you get from where you are if you don't even know? You're not clear, and you feel stuck, and you're weighed down physically, mentally, and spiritually. What do you do? I'm going to help you out. Like I said, TikTok, go on YouTube. On my YouTube, Alchemy like my username, you can see my PowerPoint. And you can always, this is recorded, so you can check that out later too. But if you're on YouTube, what we got here? Optimist sees the glass half full. Pessimist sees the glass half empty. Engineers see the glass is too big. Nice, Shana. Hey, I love that. Thank you. That's cool. And look, we need all different kind of people. Okay, I just choose to be an optimist. That's my choice to live in this life. I choose that. So I'm going to look for the silver lining. I'm going to look for the good in things. It doesn't always feel good, but we're going to look for the good. So I'm going to help you right now to establish a good foundation, to establish these new habits, because we need to develop habits, not accomplish a goal. The goal will come when you become the person. The goal will come when you're consistent with the habits. But what are the habits? And if you're following along on I'm doing a 90-day challenge, I'm inviting you all. Again, YouTube, check out the description box for the habit challenge. Site if you want, but habit challenge, we take it 1 month at a time, but I'm doing a 90-day habit challenge right now. My first month, that's what that was, a habit track created for you. But I lost my train of thought. Values over goals. I said we start with the ending, the goals, which is the strategy. Much on the strategy that we're starting from the end. I argue you need to know that. Of course, we need to know where we're going, what we want, but we need to reverse engineer. Okay, so we're just aware of the goals. We're aware of the strategy, the overall strategy. We want to lose weight, so we need to move our body and work out and eat good. But we reverse engineer that. That's why I do a habit challenge. So 90 days, 3 months can establish a new lifestyle. It can change your life. All you need is 3 months. Some of us won't commit to that. You're not uncomfortable enough. Commit to it. 1 month at a time. That's it. Take it 1 month at a time. But 90 days, we can get clearer on how to move forward. Time. It may be a couple of years before you're this completely new person, but you have to do that. That future version of yourself had to start somewhere, and it took time to get there. But we look at the gap between, and we're overwhelmed. So we need to not overwhelm ourselves. We know where we want to go, but we come back here, ground ourselves, realign, coherence between the heart and the mind, okay, so that we can move through life in our own rhythm, in our own routine with these habits. Boom. All right, let me get into it. Values over goals. I'm going to argue values over goals. What's up, Lana? Thank you for joining me. I love you. It's good to see you in here. But yeah, building habits that actually stick. This is what we're talking about today. We're reverse engineering our goals. We start with our values because our values will establish what we even do this for. And this is your mission. This is going to get you up and get you moving. This is going to help you gain clarity. I'm going to help you today gain clarity with this. Like, pay attention, okay? Pay attention. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. It's not because you're lazy. We may procrastinate. I get it. I do it too sometimes. But you don't fail because you're lazy. We fail again because we're focusing on the goal, something so far off, and it feels so far off. And we say, well, if I accomplish it before I die, I'm good. So you got all this time. Okay. Now we're taking our time, no urgency. Other things come up, so we forget about it. I argue it's you haven't hit that part, that bottom, rock bottom. You haven't hit that point that will change your life. So something's going to happen to you to make, especially if you know you're supposed to be changing and you're not. It will happen to you. It will happen to you. You choose it, or it's going to happen to you. Okay. But without, you're going to continue to chase outcomes. You're going to continue to chase goals. And that's what I hear so much. People are like, well, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next. I don't even know where to start. Okay. Without clarity that matters to you, your why you do this, your mission, without that clarity, you're chasing outcomes that are far away from you and that you really don't care. Or we're chasing those feelings that the thing is going to give us. But if we're not clear on why we even do this, we're not going to. That's why we need to know our values, because we need to be able to stick with it. Okay. The reason why goals overwhelm is because, one, like I said, outcome focus. We're focused on the outcome, the results, and it feels so far away. And then the pressure that you have to accomplish it within a certain time frame. Like I said, this whole American dream. We feel pressure by the time we turn 30 to do these things by the time we turn 40, to look a certain way in society. That's pressure. So then it creates overwhelm. It's too much at one time, on top of toxic load in the environment that we live in now, on top of regular responsibilities in life. It's so much pressure. So it's like, well, why even set a goal? Why even set a goal at this point? And then inconsistency, giving up, having to start over. Nobody wants to do that. Now you have doubt because you don't trust yourself. This is why I said self-mastery. Okay, we go on this self-discovery journey, and then we start to build these levels of confidence, of self-worth, self-love, trust in ourselves, because we've given up before in the past, because things didn't work out and we had to stop, because we feel like we failed, because we lost everything and we have to start over. So again, that's like putting pressure and overwhelming, just all these emotions on. How are you supposed to set a goal at that point if you're in that state of mind? So a goal is just not enough to keep you going. All right. Now here's the shift. This is what will help you. This is the foundation. So pay attention, chat. Pay attention. Right before I get into this, so y'all bear with me. Not right now, Noah. Oh, there you go. I'm eating. I'm doing a YouTube live. It's spicy. All right. So the shift that will change your life. Establishing your values. This is how you choose to live your life. Or you choose to show up daily. Like I said, I'm an optimist. I choose that. You could choose whatever you want to choose in this life. You have your character. You play a role. Clothes. You show up as a. Okay. But you choose that because you can so choose to show up as a different person. Now, people from your past will be like, I know you from your past, blah, blah, blah. But you could choose that. You could choose yourself in new environment and build new relationships. You could choose that at any moment to change. but you need to establish your values for long-term change. This will be how you show up every day. Okay. And that grounds you into who you truly are. And then you will be consistent because it builds confidence and trust. That means I'm going to show up and I'm going to do it. Now I have more drive behind what I do because I know why I do it. It's aligned with who I am, not what somebody else is telling me, not what I think people want, not this fake version that people show up as just to make money, whatever it is. You just do that to make friends, to fit in, what you're supposed to do. Okay, it's more in alignment with who you are. So it feels easy at that point. That's the ease, that's the flow, the alignment. It's because you're moving from this grounded state. Okay, so this is why we need to establish our values. This is the baseline of accomplishing goals, of setting new habits. We don't just go and pick something random because we see other people doing it. Like I said, we can reverse engineer from where we want to go. But in my opinion, the first month habit is foundational. It's tracking your personal rhythm. This is what I'm doing right now. Okay, the last few days haven't been the best as far as eating the most whole foods, but this is the honest truth. I'm not going to, because then that doesn't help. All trade, it's a measurement to see, and it just reveals your patterns. So if we want to break behavioral loops, it's just changing our behaviors, how we move through the world. But in order to break a loop, because you're in a loop right now, you're in a loop, you've used to it, it's muscle memory, okay? In order to break the loop, you have to be aware. Again, self-discovery journey, starting to get to self-mastery. You feel a call, you feel a pull. That's awareness. What is it? In AA, never been to it, but I know the 12 steps, the starting part is being aware, and the next thing is admitting it or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, wherever you at. Okay? You have to be aware, and you have to admit it. Look in the mirror. It's not easy. Okay? This is foundation. If you want sustainable change, you have to do this. You have to look yourself in the mirror, and you got to call yourself out. But it's okay. It's not beating your... Okay? It's just a part of the journey. Part of the process. I always say trust this, and you probably have heard this before. Love it. It's on my Facebook thing. Okay, in my background, I've had it up there for years because I truly believe in it, but I for myself. Now I understand what trusting the process means, and I'm sharing it with you right now. I'm breaking the process down. Like I said, I'm really good at systems. I'm really good at breaking things down and organizing it. And what I did is I had to just learn it. I do it through lived experience. Okay, I didn't do it the normal life. I said I traveled in a van, in an RV, like my brother and uncles and things like that for certain parts of it. But I traveled solo by myself. Okay, I would just start to do things. I learned. I want to experience life and live life. Okay, and I made money online, started business, all these things. I've also worked regular jobs, warehouse, did things like that. Went to college, okay, a degree, cool, whatever. It's just experiences in life, learning experiences. I just collected information, and now I'm condensing the information and I'm sharing it with you, okay? In my opinion, unless you're going to be important to as far as like whatever you do, risk life, limb, or injury, you don't necessarily need to go to college, especially right now. We got YouTube University. You have so many people like me that share information and education. You can learn from so many people. There's a lot of information out there. Okay. I just condensed it down, and I'm giving you a system right now. And again, this is through lived experience. I do this myself, and I'm just sharing it with you. And I'm refining as I go continuously still. So again, follow along. Follow YouTube, subscribe. Okay. But I'm saying that at a certain point, it's not about the goals. It's not about pushing harder. It's not about sleepless nights. It's not about all that. Okay, we're reverse engineering, and we're starting with the first month where we look at our patterns and we establish our why so that we will continue to go. I am an optimist, but life is life. We're obviously in war, whether they want to call it that or not. Like, so much is happening right now. Change, it's crazy. All the things. Like, life's crazy right now. Oh my, y'all. My lens, my screw. I don't want to drop my screw. I'll have to find my screwdriver. My lens just popped out. But the good thing is I have an extra pair of glasses. Clean them all. All right. There we go. What the? That's crazy. My screw, which now I don't see it. Oh, here it is. I'll lose that. My screw popped out. Anyway, like, I feel like every time I'm in live, something crazy is happening nowadays. I'm used to it at this point. I'll just keep going. So anyway, we're here and we're going to establish these habits. First month is about pattern recognition so we can break the loop and establish a new pattern, a new. Okay, it is not about failure because you will fail. You will work for a period of time and then they won't. Okay, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're self-employed, you do gigs, whatever, like it's seasonal type of thing. It goes up, it goes down, it fluctuates with the economy. Just the economy affects your jobs and like all of us, we're affected by the ecosystem. Okay, so things will happen, you will fail, you will fall, but you get back up. Okay, it's not always easy, but you get back up. Okay, the thing is, when we think about procrastination, though, and the fact that I say you're not lazy, okay, you're procrastinating is what it is. And there's layers to it, okay? You need to build your energy. That could be involving foods, your rest, your nervous system, all of those things. But it could also be that you're not in alignment with what it is you really want to do. And I see that as a huge problem right now with this American dream and everything that's going on in the world of people who've worked corporate jobs, people who have done something for most of their life, or they thought they were supposed to do it, so they start doing it, but they get laid off, feel valued, they're not paid, they're overworked, all these things, and they're starting to burn out. And I did a video a couple weeks ago about don't burn it all down. Trust me, I've done it. Okay. You may feel burnout, but do not burn it down. We need to direct that fire. We can direct it. Sometimes we do need to burn it down. But the world is burning already. We don't need to burn it down anymore. We can direct the fire to where we want. But that's why I say it's misalignment, because if we don't know where we want to go, the fire is just good. Like Fire Nation, Avatar, the live action one, I like it. They're supposed to, like this year, it's supposed to have the new one. Okay, the Fire Nation. Why are there always people in red coats, all these things? Anyway, again, we're not going to go down rabbit holes, but it's misalignment. We're not in alignment with what it is our soul wants to do, what we're here to do, what our mission is, our purpose is. Okay, that's why we procrastinate. Or it's our fear that we're not enough to do the thing. So we procrastinate because that gives us an excuse, and then we use substances to numb us out and to allow us to continue to live life the way we're living, to just put up with it, basically. And that's why I say sometimes you got to be sober. Sometimes you got to get uncomfortable, because otherwise you're going to keep doing it that way. Okay. But it's not failure. You're just misaligned. When habits don't stick, it's not a discipline problem. It's a direction problem. You don't need more discipline. You need to be aligned. Okay. Next. Now this is the foundational part right here. Again, TikTok. I'm on YouTube. It is recorded. You can watch this later. Alchemy Mentor LAB Lab on YouTube. You can see the PowerPoint that I am showing right now. I'll go ahead and flip it for you so you can see. Oh my God. I just like that. Okay. We're looking at this. Here's YouTube. This is what we're looking at. Okay. Like I said, we start with strategy. We start with our goals, and then we create a strategy. And from there, we try and work backwards. We do need to reverse engineer from strategy and go back, but we do not start there as far as the first habits that we do. We need to start here. How you feel in your body and in your mind right now. This is why so many people are talking about nervous system regulation. This is why I did a whole series on YouTube for the last, 6 months or so, about realignment, okay, and gaining clarity, because this helps you establish your state of being, who you are, who you show up as, and the energy you put out there. How you feel in your body and your mind, you put out there. Others, which is why it's important to pay attention to who you're around, who you interact with, because that affects you. And you're like, why do I feel this way? Self-awareness. Bring awareness. What's happening. Be aware. Assess. Again, first month, we're assessing. We're watching the patterns. For women, we know times of the month, I have more energy. Certain times I don't. I need to restore my energy. We're with that. So we come into alignment with our state. Our state is how we feel. We want to be able to fully feel into our body. It's been brought to my awareness that some people don't even know what that means, what it looks like. So I'll dive deeper into this if you want more information on what this looks like. But basically, it's just tapping into your physical body. Again, substances allow us to run away from the physical body because we want to numb ourselves out. We want to feel comfortable. We don't want to feel the pain. Honestly, look, situational. You know your situation. You do what you got to do. Okay. But what I'm talking about when I say feel into your body is what blows on your skin. What does it feel like when you sit in your chair? I'm not talking about the payback. I'm talking about the interaction between your skin and that physical chair, which they actually say, I'll go down real quick a rabbit hole, that it's the atoms pressing against each other, like a magnet. When you got two magnets and they don't touch, but you can feel that force. Supposedly, that's what's actually happening in this reality. Okay, you're not actually touching the thing, but we're not going to go there and come back. All right. But what does that feel like? There was a video I watched, and they're like, the guy was talking about how to feel the tips of your finger, and the person in the comments was like, "What do you mean, like the tips of your fingers?" But you could do that, but also, what does that feel like when they act? We're just tapping back into our body. You're giving yourself the space and the time to do that. Would you have the time and the space to do that? Let me know. If you're running for your life, to be like, ooh, the wind feels nice. Oh man, I can feel my feet on the ground, and guess what? The earth holds me up, and I don't have to do anything. It just holds me up. I'm standing on 2 feet. What does it even feel like when my feet touch the ground? Okay, giving yourself a moment to do that brings you to the center, brings you back to the present moment. And when we're in the present moment, which is all we have, we only have the present moment. We're always trying to rush somewhere. We're always trying to remember and stay in the past. All we have is the present moment. Okay, when we come back to the present moment, power of the now, then we can decide what state we want to be in, which is, do I want to feel happy? Do I want to feel sad? Like, do I want to continue to have these feelings of whatever the thoughts are in my mind? You get to choose that. They say, don't look it up yourself. Something like 90 seconds is true, real emotions, feelings. Anything after that, you You decide to continue on it. You decide to allow that to continue, or how do we change that? I like to meditate. I like breath work. Breathe, okay? Free. In through the nose. Hold. Out through the mouth. Free. This is free. This is free. We don't have to pay for it. Free. When you do that, you're telling your body, you're sending a signal to your body and it sends it to your mind that I'm in danger. In danger, it's excitement. They say there's a thin line between excitement and danger or fear or whatever. Okay, because your heart, like the physical response in your body is the same. We just interpret it different. This is why this stuff matters, because your perception, the way you interpret things, will determine your reality. My heart's going to beat fast, right? If I'm in danger, my heart's going to beat fast. My breath is going to be faster. Now I'm sending a signal to my brain that something's not right. And if the story that I'm playing is that something's going to happen that's bad when my heart races, then my brain is going to prove that to be true. And I'm going to start looking for those things. And now my body is saying, danger, danger. If I'm having those same physical symptoms and I'm like, whoa, what's next? I'm excited. Like that means the possibilities are endless, but in like a good way. That like the probability of something good actually happening is and if that does happen, then what would that mean? Now I'm allowing my mind to wander in that direction, go down that path. And I'm creating that storyline. Okay, because we can do that. Use your imagination. We don't use it, use it, use it, practice it. You have to practice. It's a faculty of the mind. I don't know off the top of my head all of them, but it's like will, perception, memory, one that starts with an R. I can't remember that later, but those are faculties of the mind. Okay, that's what your mind is capable of. These are compartments, these are processes in your brain that we use. But when's the last time you used your imagination? For good, for positive. Do you allow yourself to daydream anymore? Okay, we say visualization as far as manifestation. What are some good books? Oof. Man, I got a lot of books that I don't have with me right now. Depends on the topic. Of course, per my username, The Alchemist. But additional books, Slight Edge, talk about compounding, the compounding effect, the 1%, a little bit at a time. It's a slight edge. If everybody's comfortable and they're sitting on the couch, how many people are actually getting up and being uncomfortable? How many people actually write down their goal? Back over. Or how many people conform? Most people conform because they don't want to stick out. How many people get uncomfortable? Brene Brown, she Daring to Be Great. That's a good one. She talks about courage. We actually look at these famous people and these what we really are looking at is their courage, because they have the courage to be vulnerable, to be seen. We think they have something that we don't. It's courage, it's confidence. But it comes down to courage. Okay, but that's really just even when it's hard. Okay, but Daring to Be Great. Right now I'm reading Sean Stevenson's book, Eat Smarter. Okay, I just started this. I've only gotten like that far so far, but reading that. If you're working 4-Hour Body, very thick book, so I would get a summary or something. But 4-Hour Body, 4-Hour Work Week was one that I started with as far as starting an online business. I like 10 fair stuff for the most part. He is optimization. He finds the 20% that's going to give you 80% results. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to think, of course, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant, his old books. That was a good one. Something like that. So, I mean, books that are out there. Trying to think of any, oh my. Okay, here's one I highly suggest. Chop Wood, Carry Water. I have the audiobook, and every so often I'll listen to it. When I was working 9 to 5 to get me through the 9 to 5, I would listen to that audiobook at least once a week and just let it play. And I think it may be I don't know if you let it play, finish it in a day for sure, but Chop Wood, Carry Water. It basically means do the hard thing every day. You show up and you do the hard thing every day. Okay? And Chop Wood, Carry Water condenses a lot of information, and it talks you through the guy who went to be a samurai and how he had to do that for 10 years. He thought he was just going to be able to go out there and do it. It's like, no, for 10 years you had to get up, literally chop wood, literally, and then you practice to be a samurai after that every day. And you do it in any weather. You got to be able to do it when it rains, when it snows, when it's dark. That's mastery. That's mastery. So I'm talking about self-mastery. It starts with awareness. Okay. And then we look in the mirror and we acknowledge it. And we just go on that journey and we build the confidence, self-confidence. We build the trust that we will be consistent. Trust comes from consistency. You build that through small daily habits, the slight edge. Those are some books. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for asking that question as well. And if anything else pops up in my head, I'll let you know. But for sure, Chop Wood, Carry Water. Highly recommend it. Let's see. So our state of being is how we feel in our body. And that's choosing your attitude. If you go on TikTok, you can go to my pinned video, the one where I'm reading a book. I'm looking straight at the camera. And I'm reading out of this one book. It's called I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. It talks about your attitude determining your altitude, how high you can go. I also talk about the glass ceiling. It's glass, break through it, but there is a glass ceiling and limiting beliefs, subconscious beliefs that keep us stuck and we're not sure what it is. Okay. I argue that when we meditate, now there's different ways to do this. You don't have to stop all the thoughts in your head. Trust me, that doesn't happen all the time. Breath work in combination with meditation tells your body what state to be in. It calms you down. It regulates you, or it can speed up your heart. And we can hold and retain or exhale all of our oxygen and hold for as long as we can. And that puts your body into a state to where you can reprogram your mind. When you change your state, your physical body, you can now tap in to your mind because you're getting out of the logical brain. You're getting out of the logical brain. And a lot of times, and right now in this world, we get out of our logical mind because we don't have any control because our body feels so stressed and in danger. We go into the fear mind. But we don't want to go into the fear mind to do this. You can't do that because that's not logical. That's the monkey brain, the reptilian, the basics of things. And all you can do is react at that point. Are you going to freeze? All the self-defense mechanisms, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, those things. You have no choice. That's automatic. So that's why we regulate our nervous system. We come into alignment. Okay. And when we do that, and we build that habit, and we are aware of our patterns, then we can establish new habits. I said all that to get to this point. We can now establish new habits, but you have to create the safety within. We have to learn to regulate our physical bodies. We calm our mind during this time. We give ourselves that time and that space to do that. And then we can reprogram our mind. And on my PowerPoint right here, I'll flip this again so you can see it. at this point is our story. It's what we tell ourselves. We just talked about our state. If your state is off, your strategy won't stick. Okay. The next would be our story. What we tell ourselves is possible. I've already went into this in this conversation, so I don't really need to go too deep into this. It's as plain as that. That's what we tell ourselves is possible. This is our beliefs. This creates our beliefs. We were conditioned. We absorbed the things around us. We watched the TV and all the things that hypnotize us and propaganda and all of this. So reprogramming is getting rid of all that and choosing what we want to believe. We come back to center, to this state, in the present moment. And in the present moment, yep. Okay, I'm on live right now, so give me a minute. All right. So in the present moment, you can choose what to do next. We're going to choose what state we are in, how our body feels, and then we can choose the story that we believe. This is where the values part that I'm going to get into in a second really solidifies. This is why it's important to understand your values, because this is what you believe. Okay, this is the foundational part. Like I said, the state is really putting your body into a state where you're comfortable and you're saying, you know what, I'm good. No matter what happens, I'm good. I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm building the confidence. I'm being consistent with that. My nervous system is regulated. Now I'm in a flow. Okay, a rhythm, coherence between the heart and the mind. Now I can program my mind on what to believe. What do I believe? We ask these questions. It's okay to ask questions. Questions we ask and where we get our information as well. But yeah, and then we go to strategy. Eventually, later, we'll get there. Right now, like I said, this first month, pattern recognition, tracking it, and coming back to center in your body to regulate and to decide what state of being you want to be in, your attitude. You want to carry, you get to choose that when you wake up. You don't feel like getting up. Okay, most people don't. You can choose to continue to hold that emotion, or you can choose to say, you know what? It's out of my hands. You give it to your higher power, the creator, source. My hands. What can I do? Breathe, because that's free, and I can do that right now. And I can tell. Get up, and I'm going to stretch just quick. I'm not saying you got to lay. And I'm going to go look in the mirror, and I'm going to tell myself what I want to believe before the world tells me what to believe. You have to do that now. You have to do that to yourself. Self-talk, the way you talk. Here and say it, because it looks like you can do it in the camera too. I talk about audio, recording an audio, and playing it back, and just have that. And that's what you hear first. Okay, this is reprogramming yourself, but putting your body into a state first will help you subconsciously. And then our story. So, you're not lazy, you're overwhelmed, you're not inconsistent, you're just unclear. Procrastination shows up when it doesn't feel meaningful. Okay? You don't fully believe that you can even do it, so now you have fear of judgment and failure because you don't want to look a certain way to others that you tried and you didn't do it. You only fail if you stop. You learn when it doesn't work out and you got to start over. I'm the queen of pivoting. I'm the queen of starting over. I get it. I understand it. You're seeing it real time. Okay. I did this habit 3 years ago. And I probably had 4 people watching it. And it didn't go anywhere. But I also had to go through dark night of the soul, the ego death. Okay. I had to release some things internally and go on my journey before I was able to stand here. Be other things. Life just happened, and now I'm where I'm at now. And these things are happening the way they are, in the divine timing as they should. And that's why I'm sharing it with you, because I do believe in this. Okay. This is not a character flaw. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It is a signal to listen to. Why don't you want to get up? Why? I would say then, is it mental fog that you're having? Is it energy, physical energy? Because those are different discussions. These are questions to ask. Okay. But like I said, it's just a signal. It's a signal. All right, now let's get into value. So that's your state of being. We get up, we choose this. You can do it throughout the day. You have to do it throughout the day, especially if you're working a job, at lunch, before work. This is what I would have to do before my 9 to 5. Before work, I meditate, breath work, at least 5 minutes. Like, for sure, got to do that. Lunch, go outside, take a walk, take a moment. After work, I would usually work out or go to a park. Okay, those are times for me to reset. This is something that you may see around my neck in my push-up videos. It is a nasal inhaler. See that? I got a scent inside of here, and I smell it, and it helps me to calm down in the moment. If you would like one, DM me, comment the word scent, SCENT, on YouTube in the description box. I will get you one. The one that I will get you, because I only have 10. An initial pilot that I have, limited edition. Okay. It doesn't have the hole on it that you can attach it to a chain. It does have my logo on there, Born Vital, right there. And it comes in this blue color. And it has a cotton wick inside. And there's also an extra cotton wick right here. So if you want one, let me know. Only 10 for 10 people to try it out for me. And let me know how it does. Again, if you are just joining me, this is mine that I'm tracking myself. This is free as well on my website in the description box on YouTube, bornvital.com. Okay. RNVITAL.com/habit challenge. You can go directly to that. It looks like this, 1 month at a time. You do identity-based statement at the top, and then you can track yourself. Again, this is first month is just tracking to, I gotta reset this. The first month is tracking your patterns. Okay. So anyway, I'm saying that because that's my state. I tap in, I smell my scent when I need to, regulate myself in the moment, remind myself, all right, let's calm down, let's get ready to do this. I listen to something, whatever it is I need to listen to in the moment. Okay. And then we go do the thing, do the hard thing, keep it moving. Okay. Because not every day is going to be easy. So you need these things, these tools to help you. All right. You can't just be raw dogging it. It's not going to work. That's why you keep failing. Okay. So that's our state. Now we're going to talk about our story. I'm going to keep it much longer. I've already been on YouTube for almost an hour and a half now. So I'm going to wrap this up. My food has got cold. And so let me take a sip of my water. So I'm doing one of these a day at least. It's my habit. That was more than a sip. All right. So now the story, how we can build our story. This is our belief right here. Okay. This is a values word bank. Now you can look up on Google, wherever you need to search it, for other words to use. This is just something that I'm giving you. It's a general values word bank for you to get started with today. So you can just gain some clarity today and get started. All right. Look at this list. Notice the areas and pick one word that resonates with you okay? Or just one word you want to, like, if you like, oh, it's a lot, just pick one word. Okay. I would start out with like 3 to 5, like I said, one from each category. And then from that, I pick my one main focus for this month. So TikTok, if you're not looking on YouTube, you can't see it. So some of the words as far as my values is health. I value health. Born Vital, my website, means that I feel like we are innately born with vitality. Okay, we have certain things that give us vitality in life. Our energy and all these things deteriorate, and it pulls our energy. And oh my goodness. All right. So health is one. Clarity, discipline, freedom, growth, peace, focus, awareness, resilience, consistency, momentum, courage, connection, balance, simplicity, alignment, authenticity. So these are values that you can choose. What do you actually value in life? Okay. Usually it would be something also like family, finances, health, more categorized like that. And then inside of those categories, that's when we add these words in. Okay. But for this first challenge, you only want to pick one category. So am I focusing on family? Because I value that. I highly value that. I think that that's important right now. Or community, which means family, friends, local community, all that. Whatever my community is, do I value that more than anything? Do I value my health more than anything? Do I value finances more than anything? Because I want stability, and that affects all these other areas. What is it that you value? Pick one for the 90 days. Inside of that, we're going to pick a smaller one to help us stay focused. Okay, so in our finances, do we want increase? Like we're pushing hard increase, or do we just want stability? What is it that we want inside of our family or community? Do we want growth, or do we want peace? Okay, what is it that we want? And then inside of health, do we want more vitality? Do we want aesthetics, to lose weight, to look good? So what is it that you really want? So then you know what you value. If it's my health, I'm going to be honest. That's what I value the most. At least right now. We can always change our mind later. At least right now, I'm deciding that would be the thing that I value the most right now, because health is wealth, and it affects these other areas. Because if I'm not healthy, I'm in pain, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I don't have energy. It affects all these areas. Okay, I may just want aesthetics. Summertime. Right now, that's my main focus. That's what I value, is this physical appearance. So that's my focus. That's what I value. And I'm going to remind myself of that. I'm going to write that at the top of my habit tracker. Okay? To remind myself, I do this because I want to look good in the summertime in this certain bathing suit and blah, 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 blah. That's my values, and be honest with it. And it's okay. You don't have to justify it to anybody. That's for you. Okay? So this is why this is important. And this is also, you go ahead and pick your value. What is it that you value right now? And again, this will change, and it can change. You just pick something for right now. What is it that you're valuing? And that will give you some clarity to get moving, to get started. Once you start moving, you gain clarity. Okay? Action creates the momentum. And then we just become more consistent. We track, so we notice the patterns. We make the adjustments, and we just keep being consistent. And we grow a little bit at a time. The 1%, slight edge. Just a little bit at a time. Okay? So like I said, you pick 3 values that matter most to you right now, not the values that you think you should have because others tell you that or whatever. Because like for me, I'm single. So I don't have kids, I don't have a partner, stuff. So I would say family matters to me, but it's not top priority because I don't have responsibilities like that. If I had kids, I would probably say that's one of my top values, because that's very important to me. I take care of them. It dictates a lot in my life, all this stuff. Not that I have to do it, but I want to do it. I feel like as a mother, But for me, that's not. I would pick, health, wealth, fun, adventure or whatever. Um, so not the ones you think you should have, the ones that you want. Again, we need to align with who we are, what we really want. It will change. You will gain clarity. It's okay. But as you go, you're getting clearer and it will be easier and you're going to really refine what it is you. But we need to start here. You got to start somewhere. So just pick 3. And then which one of these, if improved, will make everything else easier? You got your 3? Now ask yourself, which one of those, if you improve it, would make everything else? Like I gave you the example. Okay, if mine was fun and adventure, finances and health, I chose health. Because like I said, health is wealth. If I don't have health, I can't have fun and adventure. Because I can't go do the things because I'm sick. And I'm exhausted. And I don't have the energy. Wealth, I don't have the wealth because I can't show up and work. Because I don't have the energy. Okay, if I'm sick, I can't show up. I can't be consistent. So that's very important. So if I improve that, I will have more energy. I'll be able to show up better. I'll be able to do these things and be consistent. And that will just have a ripple effect. So whatever one, if improved, will make everything else easier. That is your main focus for the 90 days. Okay, that's your anchor value. We're going to anchor in on that. And we only focus in that one area for these 90 days. No excuses. That is your main focus. Okay. We're going to wrap this up. Okay, I guess that was my last slide right there. So this was really just to help you gain clarity on your next steps to develop a new habit, to create a sustainable lifestyle. Okay, in this first month of this 90-day habit challenge, we're really just establishing a habit for your new lifestyle. It starts with this foundation. I took you through the framework. We're going from state to story. I've already talked about nervous system regulation. If you're new here, subscribe. If you're on TikTok Live, check out my YouTube channel. Okay. But I talk about nervous system regulation. That's your state. Coming back to center, the power of the now. Follow me on social media. This is what I talk about on there as well. So it's good reminders when you see my videos pop up. But there's your state. And then right now what I'm talking about with this is getting clearer on your story, what you actually believe. Next week, I'm going to talk about your identity. We're going to dive deeper in the world. We're creating a new identity at this point. So go ahead, follow, subscribe, all the good things. Thank you for sticking around. If you did for this whole time, this has been a long one. I didn't think it was going to be that long today, but I really want to get into this. And it's very important. Again, this is foundational. And this is how you establish consistent habits and build that confidence and that self-trust. And we can get to a level of self-mastery, impact the world around us after we work on ours, do that inner work. And we can accomplish these goals. We can set these new habits. Okay. So we can show up and be this new person. All right. So again, thank you for sticking around. As always, continue to shine on. Again, don't forget to breathe. Loosen it up. Relax the tension. Okay. Go easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Values and the categories of your life, and then which one improved would make everything else easier. And come back next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time for the next live, and we will dive deeper into what do you do next. And we're just going to continue to go on this journey together. Let me know if you don't have me eating on the live. I just talk a lot. I'm trying to get it out, so then I don't eat a whole lot. Also, if you want some other videos, if you want just like a day in the life vlog type thing, let me know. I was talking to my nephew about streaming. I've been playing some Fortnite. I don't do it a whole lot. It depends on if I'm here or not. But yeah, if you're into that type of thing, let me know. If you want one of my nasal inhalers, go ahead and leave that comment sent in the comments below. Go to my website in the description box as well, so you can get the habit tracker. And I also have a holistic wellness. I call it an ebook. It's a guide. It's just a couple pages long, gives you the general overview of living a holistic lifestyle. And you can start on the first page, which is really what we're talking about here with our ideas. Start to establish new habits that are more specific and personal. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found some value from this. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Did something stick out to you in this? Is there more information you want to know about a specific area? And I'll dive deeper into that as well. But I'm going to get off here, finish my food, and relax. But y'all take care. It is Wednesday Wins. If you were on my YouTube Live, you saw my wins so far. I haven't been doing good. The last 2 days I've kind of been off on my food, but I'm getting it together because I've been traveling and all this. But we're getting it together. Beautiful weather out. So enjoy yourselves. Again, talk nice to yourself. All we have is now, this present moment. So choose to be nice to yourself. All right, take care. I'm going to get off of here first. And then I'm going here. Hola!